So I'm just saying who I am?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm struggling with the first question, aren't I? Right, let's go. My name's Kat Atkinson, and I am a lecturer, content creator and public speaker from York.
Okay.
I've always been a creative person, really loved fashion, expressing myself creatively in what I wear, and I kind of really enjoy having a unique style, playing with proportions, textures, colours, champion independent brands, and yeah, I feel like I've kind of carved a niche within the Instagram world with how I dress. I was a model for 8 years, in my late teens, early 20s, which gave me kind of a unique view of the fashion industry from a model perspective. And it was kind of like I knew that I wanted to work in fashion, but not necessarily in the modelling field, because it's so that gave me kind of a unique view of the fashion industry and how shoots work, and I really enjoyed kind of being immersed in the fashion industry and the creative industry, but I knew that I kind of didn't want to pursue modelling long term, purely because I just didn't see much progression in it. So I wanted to, I knew I wanted to work in the fashion industry, but kind of in a different field. So that's how I started off. And then obviously when Instagram took off, I created a profile and started showcasing my outfits on Instagram. And then I've kind of built a following from that. And then other kind of opportunities have come from that. I really, because I'm a lecturer and an academic, I'm really interested in the psychology behind purchase behaviour, and I'm really interested in learning what's behind influencer marketing and what prompts people to make a purchase, and kind of there's so many academic papers on how word of mouth and influencer marketing, it's tapping into a specific consumer base, and really kind of developing trust with the consumer. So I really enjoy kind of playing with that and targeting a specific customer with my work on Instagram, and hopefully getting results for brands that I work with. So I lecture fashion marketing on the fashion marketing course, but my specialist areas are fashion writing and fashion trend analysis. So with the fashion trend analysis module, it's a really interesting module about getting the students to really think beyond fashion trends and look at more consumer behaviours, and predicting how consumers are going to behave in the next 5+ years' time. So yeah, it's quite an abstract concept, getting students to think about what political, social, economic factors that are happening now are going to influence the fashion landscape and consumer behaviours in 5+ years' time. So it is quite an abstract concept that they sometimes struggle to get their head around, but I feel like it's a really kind of good tool for observation, to trace patterns from what's happened in the past, and moving it right through to the future. And I think it's a very important module because it's going to help students kind of develop in marketing in the future. If they know what consumers are going to be wanting and what the fashion landscape is going to look like, then that is only going to make them really good marketers for the future. I think trend forecasting agencies are pivotal because they basically collate all of this information and present it in a simplified way to the everyday people. And I think that trend agencies are so forward thinking that they predict things that people might not even consider, but when the time is right and that time has come around, then these trends are people are ready for these trends to come about. So I think that it's really interesting and really important that these trend agencies exist, so that they can kind of do all the legwork and then present their findings to the fashion industry. And I, although we work with WGSN and we've got full access through the university, like I look on it on a daily basis anyway, because I just find it really interesting. Well, it's God's own country, isn't it? No, Yorkshire is my home and I've lived here my whole life, and it's just somewhere that offers so much. You're in the centre of the country, and it's so creative. And I often think that people from Yorkshire or anywhere kind of in the north really push and strive to make it, because they haven't got the opportunities that people in London have. So I often feel like they've got a lot of grit and a lot of drive, that perhaps people in London, they have more opportunities readily available to them. We have to go out and search for them. We have to create the opportunities. So I love Yorkshire, and I do like going to London, but I also like coming home again. And I feel like we've got everything we need up here. And I think that especially in the last 5 years or so, we're really striving a creative community in Yorkshire. And I'm hoping that that's only going to continue, as time goes on. Yeah, like I think that people, it's kind of this connotation that if you move to London, you're going to have all of these experiences. Readily available in London to you. And it's true, there's a lot of head offices, there's a lot of people and companies there. But I think that Yorkshire, and especially the north, they're forging their own community up here. And it is more difficult to get your name out there. But I think, especially with the development of the internet and social media, it's really connecting the two. Obviously, there's a lot more work that needs to be done with that. But I feel like Yorkshire people, we have not just Yorkshire, but northern people have an edge. We have a different kind of outlook and creative outlook than people in London. And we appreciate every opportunity that we get. Because obviously it's not as easily earned as it is in London. I think that in London you have access to a catalogue of people. There's a lot more events, a lot more chances to network, a lot more chances to kind of meet people and develop your brand. But so as I said, I think that up north, like it's harder to meet these people, but once you've met them, they're quite loyal to you because you are a small select group of people. A bit like York Fashion Week, we've forged this like community, and we're all really loyal to each other, and we do things for each other, and we're always there for each other because we know how difficult it is to forge this community up north. Whereas I think because it's much larger in London, it is easier because there is more people, but it comes with its own challenges. Obviously, living there is expensive. Everything seems to be more expensive in London. Not that it's much cheaper at the minute here, but I just feel like it's you have to work a bit harder for it, but it is achievable to get your name out there up in the north. Well, obviously in London there's more opportunities for catwalk shows, more opportunities for showrooms, people to kind of see your work. But so, inevitably you can use social media to a certain point where you can showcase what you're offering. But if you want people to see your product, in person or up close, then it would be something that you would need to take down to London to get, access to more people. But I think the fact that social media is allowing people to, wherever they are in the world, to see what you're doing, then I think that's great. It's kind of like I said, it's closed the gap between the north and the south. And obviously the main fashion weeks in the capital, but then we have other fashion events and things where you can showcase your designs and stuff up north as well. I think marketing is harder when you're in the north because your pool of people that you're marketing to is smaller in the north than it is in the south, and obviously you don't have access to these big budget fashion weeks, etc. But then again, if you flip it, in London to get a showroom or to get a studio or to even make the product in London whilst trying to live in London, it's obviously going to be a lot more expensive. So there are kind of pluses and minuses. And I think, as time goes on, I would hope that the traffic links between the two, the train links would be just get better and better, which would allow people to market their product in Yorkshire, and then be able to take it down to London if needed. I think that the more kind of grassroots creative fashion weeks, such as York Fashion Week, for example, the more that northern cities promote these and people get to know about them, the more people that, will recognise northern cities as a host of really creative people. And it's not just London that have creative people. And just because you don't want to live in London doesn't make you any less creative or talented. And I would hope that would only increase as time goes on, really, because London isn't the centre of the world. There are pockets of really creative people in different cities in the north, and Yorkshire especially has got a really great creative scene, which I'm really excited to be part of. So I would hope that would increase and get more kind of recognition as time goes.